Alakazam race fans, all horse think here. We are back. Saturday night, January 14th. A lot of playoff action going on for the NFL, but I got to talk about these horses a little bit. Sorry, I've been away a couple days working my day job, but there's so much to talk about because of all of the response I've had from everybody on the why Jose Ortiz video that I've got to make a response and give some more insight on race rigging, what it means, how you spot it. And I'm so happy for all the people that viewed the channel, commented. A lot of people out there know what we're dealing with, and we also had a lot of normalcy bias folks, a lot of fanboys. I didn't expect to see so many Jose Ortiz fanboys. It was like I did a Tom Brady video, and everybody's jumping in saying he's the greatest quarterback of all time, and Inflategate's a scam. So we're going to talk more about that, and I'm going to show you all what a real race looks like, which is the way most of them are run, as opposed to what happened on that race. And please hit that like, subscribe, so we can keep this content coming. I promise when we get into the late part of our season here in FLA, I'm going to try and put some time into the Triple Crown, and then definitely that Turf Triple Crown, those big races up at NYRA in New York with Saratoga. I had some good hits on that. And using some alternative handicapping means, which I am going to do a video, I promise. So you'll want to subscribe for that so you get that. But how I won some easy races, and it wasn't by tracking daily race forms. It wasn't by workouts and time trial times. It was by using all the means of information and occult communication that they give us to handicap some winners. All righty. First of all, thanks to all the people that know it's rigged and gave some shout outs. Just looking at the comments from the original bid, Donnie Marshall, Mark McLean, people right off the bat saying they know it's rigged, they know there's influencing going on. You're so right. Mark McLean's comment here, this happens all the time. It tracks everywhere. Jockeys throwing races, can't trust anyone. That's absolutely correct. The next comment up here, we've also got people that are telling us kind of how they bet. That's helpful for everybody. La Vida de Bajo Zekatatics says, I only bet supers, I only play superfectas. Bet the favorites every third race or so. So a lot of people left great comments on how they bet. And there's tons more. Thank you all for coming in. When we get more people in, we're gonna start more Discord, more talking, and we're gonna do more handicapping. But we gotta get to the fanboys. So first, let's talk about what we're seeing here. On the left, at the top left, is the Ortiz race from December 28th that we talked about. And on the bottom is Gulfstream race 1 from January the 13th. And you're seeing two similar situations where the exact opposite thing happened. So on the top, the race you've already seen, clearly Jose Ortiz crunches down to the rail with Saez. There they are, the 5 horse at the front at the top there, blocks the 3, and then for no reason, he slides out to the right. Him and Saez both slide out the right. They pressure the 4, 3 wide to become 4 wide, and he just lets the 3 go through, which you should never do. And people are saying, oh, it happens all the time. It does not. It happens maybe 1 out of every 20 times, maybe 5%. At the bottom, let's see a similar race here. And we've got Junior Alvarado here. Junior Alvarado's on the 4 horse at the bottom left. See him? He's gone out to the front. It's 3 wide. He's at the rail. He's burned his horse out, as you're going to see. Horse is tired. He's got guys on his ass pushing him. The 1 horse is pushing him. 6, 9, the blue horse, I think it's a 9's pushing him. See, they're all bunched together. This is what a normal race looks like. Now watch his horse get tired here. He's got the soccer ball cap on the rail. See his horse falling back? He's falling back. He damn near wrecks into the guy behind him who has to go out around him. That's what should happen. He didn't just push to the outside and let the guy behind him go through. It's nonsense. Now let's look at all these commenters. We even had people say that Ortiz let the guy go through for safety. That's stupid. You don't go in the passing lane for safety. Your horse gets tired, your horse gets run down, you stay in your lane. You don't start sweaving in and out, okay? I know we see it all the time because these jockeys a lot of times drive these horses like crash up derby. But it's not what's normal or what's supposed to happen. Got a comment here. This was one of the first ones. Horse was all done, was backing up, nothing wrong on the race. Hey, Larry, good point there, brother, but you missed the point. The point is he didn't back up in his lane. He started swerving in and out to let a buddy of his get through who he no doubt split the purse with. Or somehow it was planned. I shouldn't say it's just jockey error. These things are rigged at the highest level, okay? Got another comment here. Nothing wrong with this race. Morales had the balls to squeeze through in a bold move and winning move. Smart play. Wake up, guys. it's rigged. Let me tell you something about the balls on horses. Horses can run themselves. They don't even need the jockeys. They're the most uniquely beautiful, loyal animals in the world. Dogs, horses, and camels, the most trained animals in the world. All the years of recorded history since time immemorial. I'll tell you a story about trained horses and how brave they are. So let's not act like after you hear this that you don't know that horses are brave. In World War II, when the Nazis attacked Poland, Poland didn't have much in terms of new technology, but they had the largest cavalry, the best cavalry in the world. In the 6 weeks that it took Germany to take Poland, World War II, I think it was in late 39 or 40, the Polish cavalry, the war horses, which are all thoroughbreds and not quite as good as the ones they use for racing, as the Panzer tank corps would advance, as the units would advance, they had no other way to fight them but to send their cavalry into MG fire and into oncoming tanks with handheld explosives. They would try and ride the cavalry horses between the tanks, and the soldiers would throw the handheld armor-piercing grenades into the tracks to try and basically destroy one of the links of the tracks so that the track would fall off the tank and it would stall the Panzer attack. They lost 1 million horses in 6 weeks. 1 million war horses and the men with them. So this ideology that these guys are so brave on these horses, they've been war horses for 30,000 years. These horses, once they're trained and broken, will run into damn near anything, okay? When Alexander the Great attacked India, ancient India, when his expansion finally failed, the horses charged against units with war elephants on them, and they still charged into the units. Problem is, so many of his men and horses got trampled that it stopped the attack. So that's point number one. These horses are super brave. It's not a strange thing when you see these guys running between horses. But it is a strange thing when you see a guy preferentially let another horse through instead of blocking him when he already is occupying the inside lane. Because the first thing they tell a jockey is take the shortest path. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. These jockeys know the shortest distance around a corner on a racetrack, the smallest circumference, is to be closest to the center, so the inside lane. You never surrender the shorter path when you don't have to. It's just ridiculous that there's so many people leaving comments on here in this day and age that can't see this obvious rigging for what it is. All right, we got another brainiac here on the middle bottom of the comments. Neil Butler, the horse 5 and 6 got tired. Looks obvious. No, what looks obvious is that the guy was working with the other jockey and let the 3 horse go through and win. The good news is that nobody got hurt, sweeping in and out. I need to bring up another point here because this was actually worse than I initially thought, okay? When you look at the top here at that original race, when the 5 starts to veer out to the right and lets the 3-2, not only did he let the 3 win, but the other 2-1 fave was the 7 horse. So the 5 was a fave. He backs up right into the 7 here, forces the 7 another horse wide. And it ends up being 4 wide. Watch when he comes around, because Ortiz is driving the 5 out and pressing against Chantel Sutherland, who's jockeying that 7 horse. Look how wide he is, okay? So not only did he take his own fave out, which screwed all the bettors, look how he's almost touching, banging the other horse. He screwed up the trip on the 7 horse, which knocked both the faves out. That's how you make the money. Now, the great thing about that is yes, we who know it's rigged, and we're building a community for that here, we want to see that, okay? What we want to do is find the trends in any messaging that's coming out publicly as to when they're going to pull this kind of shenanigans so that we can know what horses to omit from our tickets. That's the point of this. So it was not only are these people overblown, the fanboys saying that I'm being mean to Ortiz, but I was conservative when I first put the video out. It's even worse. Not only did he let Morales go through and win, but he also took out the other favorite too by screwing their trip on that 7 horse with Chantel Sutherland on it. And then we got a smart one here, Pedro Reyes. He's on. He knows what's up. Something's going on. That's why I don't bet anymore. Well, hopefully we're going to be able to create some picks that are worth betting on. But I understand exactly what you're saying, Pedro. Got another one here, Bill Derby. Looks like it was a faster horse. Look, yeah, it's a faster horse, man. Oh my God. We actually need these guys. I'm not trying to put the horses out of business. I want the fanboys betting. Not enough to harm themselves, but budgeting like you're supposed to do, going out, enjoying the day at the track, spending their $10 a race and, buying their nachos and their beer and betting $100 and winning back 30 and spending, 30 on food and 20 to park and, calling it a day. Because those are the people that keep the industry in business. While we're trying to build a community here that's actually based on trying to create handicapping systems that will generate positive revenue. That's the point of what we're doing here. So we need the normalcy bias, folks. I can't stress this enough. I support you. Make fun of me all day. That's great. I need you guys out there, paying into the system so that we can take advantage and build a community here that can take advantage of opportunities when they arise. Here's another one that knows what's up. Mike, 6 days ago. They do this every day. You should do all the $1 million pick six playoffs at GULFSTREAM the day before the mandatory payout. Have to factor larceny in your handicapping. That's that's a fantastic comment, Mike. So true, buddy. That's what we're trying to do. And like I said, I did a little larceny on them this last summer with those races at Saratoga. So stay tuned when I show you how I got those picks. You're gonna love it. Got some more regular arguments. I just appreciate everybody commenting. Look at this guy, Manuel Marquez at the top. Weak argument, man. Maybe with a front view of the turn, we can have a better look. Like, the original vid, you could see the level of the horses against the rail. You could see the level of the number. Assuming one horse isn't like 10 inches taller than the other, you can tell from this rail shot that's being displayed at the top right now that the horses are basically in front and back of each other. We don't need the global positioning for you to figure this out. I mean, you got to be a little better than that. He did have the rail, and then he gave it to him. That's what happened. Alakazam. Next comment at the bottom here, Scotty Gannon. I love this one. Tis called horse racing. Sounds like you're mad because you don't have the number 3 horse. Jose's no horse idiot, laugh out loud. His name is Jose Ortiz, not Jose Ortiz Jr., you idiot. Yes, Alakazam. That's what we need. More guys like Scotty. Keep pumping the money into the industry. We need you guys giving them your money. I love it. We got Paul V up there. He knows what's up. I rarely wager anymore. Got tired of the chicanery. You ain't kidding, brother. We're going to work on that. You know what they're doing. Smart man. Oh, Ricky, he's being nice. He's saying he don't see much. Maybe he'll see it on the replay here, what we're talking about, especially with that bottom race, how Junior Alvarado on the 4 horse on the bottom. Notice he hangs in tough there on the rail. That horse gets tired. He don't try and start bumping and grinding on the outside. He just falls back. Mr. Loki, look at this guy. Learn how to recognize the horse in pain. Ortiz backed off that horse correctly. It's a low-level claiming race, not a death match. No shit, and he should have done exactly what Junior Alvarado did on the bottom left pane. Slowed down in his lane, not endangered the horse and the other jockeys and horses more by sweeping in and out to the right, and then falling back, sweeping in front of the 7 horse, and screwing up their trip. That's endangerment. Ashley Gordon, here's another one. Are you serious? There's nothing wrong here. Public bet favorites. 20-1, went off at 11-1. Was easy. Sharp money had it. Yeah, sharp money always has it. It's called inside information is what they call it on Wall Street. I didn't have it, but I was tracking these, not really betting them. I was betting my regular $3-4 a race in dollar exactas and 10-cent supers. But you brought a very good point up, Ashley, is that, sharp money had it. You're exactly right. And sharp money is by not believing in the nonsense and trying to handicap more effectively. Here's another one, another safety guy here. Riding man 4126, blocking the rail with a fading horse is dangerous to the other jockeys and horses. Same policy applies worldwide at the big tracks. Again, refer to the bottom left and see how Alvarado slows his horse and stays in his lane, doesn't jeopardize the other horses by swerving around and endangering all the jockeys around him. And we got Arborist P, knows what's going on, gives us good information there about the weights and measures of the horses. Does bring up daily racing form, of course. Point about these are just industry mags and rags, and these industry rags can't be trusted really because they're just a part of the money making system. They're part of the show, part of the entertainment. It's like watching Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp tell you who's going to win a football game on ESPN. These guys are part of the show. All they're basically doing is looking at time trials, all these picksters, and then basically picking the 3rd, 4th favorite because the odds are too short on the fade. So they pick a 2nd or 3rd, and if it goes in and shows or places or wins, and they say, oh, see, we got a good one. But, all you do is win 10 cents on the dollar net on these show bets because they're picking a 3rd place horse. It doesn't help you. It's immaterial. Matt F., the 3 was obviously much the best. I've seen a lot shit since the 70s, but this wasn't one of them, okay? Can't see an obvious race here where they cut off all the horses and let the other guy through. I don't know. But good feedback. Appreciate you comment and viewing. Look at this guy, Mark Tyler. Here's another one. You need to learn racing. The horses could have clipped heels. He was beat anyways. The way American jockeys batter their horses with the whip is a joke. Good to see one actually cared about the horse. Come on, Tyler. Really. Ridiculous. You're acting like you're caring about safety, but you're advocating the horse zigzagging over into another lane and endangering more horses instead of just slowing down on the rail where he was. There we go. We got another smart one here. Amarit Lau. They're both cheaters, brothers. Heck yeah. They're all in on it. Tommy Martino, so you thought they should have blocked the 3? What? The who finished last could not have blocked anyone. I hope this is not the horses, you bet. So here's another one. Again, he's basing his statement on what happened at the end. First of all, if Ortiz hadn't drove the horse, veered out to the right, then backed up into the 7, took the other fave out, spooked that horse, forced it out wide, maybe those other horses would have had some gas in the tank. Maybe they wouldn't have got in the behind position they were in. Although I do think you're right. It does look like the 3 ultimately had the speed anyways. But again, you don't know because you don't know if the other guys are laying off or what. APOC 1997 basically says the same thing as the last guy, DiMartino. Horse got tired, had to check the horse. That wasn't the point of the video. The point is, why didn't he check the horse in his lane instead of swerving outside? But then he brings up the point that the horse looked pretty fast, probably would have won anyways. Fair enough commentary. Fair enough commentary. Thanks for commenting. See what else we got. Aaron Watson. Here's another guy. He'll believe in anything that the government and authorities tell him. I've seen thousands of horse races, Aaron Watson says. The 5 pressing the rail is focused on herding with the 4 and 6 around the turn to avoid being passed and cleared. The result is the 5 position on the rail faded out as the other horses are trying to pass tight on the hip. Ortiz never sees the 3 on the rail. Just never sees him. He's a top 10 rider, if I'm not mistaken, money-wise in the last year. At least a top 20 guy, but never sees him, which opened up the space and allowed the 3 to cut in and make a move. If you look closely, the 5's head isn't turned for the stretch yet, so the 3 cutting and bumping on the inside started the 5 as he had been controlling the rail. The whole race wasn't expecting any action on his inside. Big balls by Morales and expert patience. Bottom line, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. It was just good, hard racing. Aaron Watson showing the kind of normalcy bias that keeps politicians in power, the corrupt ones, keeps the rigged football, basketball, baseball, and horse racing coming right off it. The truth is, enough people will never wake up to do anything about this, no matter how obvious they make it. I mean, they can't make it any more obvious and maintain kayfabe than what they did here. I mean, the only thing that would have made this more obvious is if after the race, Morales would have went up to Ortiz and they had footage from behind the building where he hands him half the purse money in cash. That might have woke a few more people up. But I mean, there's nothing, it's so blatantly obvious what happened in this race. I put up a softball on this early vid, not to be controversial, but to educate. Again, I'm not demonizing the riders, the trainers, the tracks, anything in particular. For all I know, in terms of the jockey, this is what he got paid to do. You know, the match fixing may be way above his head. He may have had to do it. So I'm not demonizing him, but standing back as an outsider and looking in, it's pretty obvious this race is rigged. A few more of these brainiacs here. I'm getting bored of this already. The bottom, Frank Rolls. Wow, grow up. Shut up and get a fucking life. And then here we got the guy, James Madison. Please don't breathe. Thanks. More agents of the system. These are fully indoctrinated people that will never wake up. And that's great. Like I said before, we need these guys to keep pumping money into the system so the few of us that are woke can start handicapping to make money. Because they're not going to stop rigging this stuff. The opportunities are going to be there. So we invite everybody to join, but it's not that I'm not being exclusionary here, but not enough people are going to wake up. Because by the time we start having success, we'll start doing these picks in a private Discord type environment where everybody's not going to know when we have success and where it came from. If everybody has success, they'll shut it down. All right, we got William Cayenne. It's horse racing. He says it's horse racing. Anything under the sun is going to beat you out of all your bets. 90% of the time, it's a game where you get your ass kicked. Yes, sir, that's correct. There's another one who's awake and aware. Nice to have you here, William. Thanks for being here. Just some more of the comments, and we're going to have to move on. More of the same stuff. Fractions were too fast. Horse was tired. Nothing else we could do. Steve Holmes, useless commentary. There are at least 12.5 clunkers. The 5 was all in at the 3/8 with nothing left. Not sure why. Again, Steve Holmes, why didn't he slow down where he was after he wasted all the energy to gain the rail? He started way out in 5th position, burnt the horse out to get the rail, and then surrendered the rail. Okay? You never surrender the rail. It's an obvious sign of cheating. Also was brought up, and this is a big point by several of the commenters, and I am going to get a vid ready for this, but they pulled this same gag in this year's Kentucky Derby, where Rich Strike won, where he was on the rail and somebody surrendered the rail and let him pass. Same type of thing. I know the first commenter brought it up, and so did the other. I didn't add that to this compilation because I wanted to show a similar race at the same track with a similar national rider on the bottom doing what normally happens, slowing down on the rail, not driving out. But I am going to bring up that Kentucky Derby, and we'll get a good look at that. I'll get some good footage of it. Again, lots of wise people here. Thanks for commenting. Patrick McIntyre says, it was fixed. That's nothing new in horse racing. Yes, sir. Here's another naysayer. Steve Bazile. Only thing Ortiz and Saez did wrong was let themselves get hooked into a 44-second half-speed duel on 10 claimers. Horse is often beat out when spitting the bit. Either one can ride my horse anytime. He's another fanboy of Ortiz. Yes, we need more of these fanboys that can't see the forest through the trees, as they say. More Truth Boy says, once Jose Ortiz Jr. sees number 3 coming, he literally stopped his horse by holding him back and kept it back by not pushing him back. Only when the horse lost momentum, he started pushing. Looks fixed. The jockeys make much more money losing than they do winning. And yes, Truth Boy, yes, sir. There's another one who knows what's up. And that, of course, is the old cliche in football and baseball that they don't pay him for the games they win. They pay him for the games they lose. And that's because that's exactly how it works. They pay him for the games they throw. Of course, now it's even worse than that. This isn't just low-level point shading. On these big races, they run whole rituals in time where they'll connect the events esoterically, allegorically, and to other major events that are going on. Case in point, the Ukraine war thing was the story of this whole last year. We had the LA Rams go to the Super Bowl last year for the first time since they were in St. Louis, the greatest show on turf, with another known game thrower, Matt Stafford from the Georgia Bulldogs, who's been throwing games since he entered the league all those years with Detroit. He was a stud coming out of the SEC, but again, they pay him for the games they throw. Well, he finally gets his carrot for being a good actor, being a good WWE man in the NFL. And all of a sudden, the Rams, which are the same colors as the flag of Ukraine, go to their first Super Bowl. And they ran all those marketing stories about the Rams coach going out with the Ukrainian model, who was his fiancée. So they started pumping Ukraine. This was right before the war started, because the war started in February. So they did this whole Ukraine ritual and had the Rams go with their colors. They then backed it up by having Kansas then win the NCAA again with the, I think I may have said black and yellow, I meant to say the blue and yellow colors. They had Kansas with the same blue and yellow colors, and when you look at the old Kansas, the Jayhawk logos, where it's got the yellow bird body in the middle and the blue head and the blue feet, when you look at the body, it basically looks like the outline of Ukraine. So they did a whole ritual in time, and that's the type of stuff that they do in horse racing, but only at the bigger races. So that's the type of stuff I'm going to tell you more about on this channel, because I found a couple good ones. Let's see some more of these fantastic comments. More comments here. Here at the bottom, we got Christopher Bristol. I don't see your point, so stop posting if you don't have nothing better to do. There's another fanboy for you. And we got another wake man. Got George Berger. This is the other gentleman talk about Rich Strike. George Berger says, Rich Strike ran about 45 lengths faster than he ever did. Secretariat never did that. And that's the best horse ever. The race was fixed. Watch Johnny V open up the rail. So again, and he's telling us it was Johnny Velasquez, apparently, who was the culprit on that rigging scam. I'll have to go back and look at it. So that, and the gentleman in the very first comment said the same thing. So one of the ways you recognize rigging is they'll repeat the means, the modus operandi. So that's the reason why I've been doing this, not just to track. I've been tracking more of the numbers, but I'm also, of the races I view, I'm tracking. The reason why I put this up here, because I track the type of rigging, which in this case it was letting the rail runner through. So learning the modus operandi helps you identify, and then when you identify, then you go back and look for the other things that may have been the calling cards to let us know for whom they were going to rig it. And that's what we're going to try and do going forward. This guy, Peterson Park, Peterson, P-Land, KRD, I'm not sure, or Patterson Plankard. He says, I can say this, Morales probably yelled, most likely in Spanish, coming through. Obviously had a ton of horse. Ortiz mount was out of gas, ears pinned back, shortening stride before the quarter pole done. So he got out of the way. It's a safety issue as well. Nothing, I think it's supposed to say nothing further. So there's a number. So again, that's fine commentary, but this is, again, just parroting the commentary that they tell you to the track. And as I've already illustrated, it's not a safety issue in that way. It's just as dangerous for him to veer out into another lane and block another horse than it is for him to just slow down in the lane where he was, okay, and make the other horse go around, okay, because there was a horse next to him as well. So, and remember, when you pair it to rhetoric and the answers that the industry gives you, like in this case, he had to yield for a safety reason, it's like listening to the dealer give you that nonsense on how to play blackjack. You're taking advice from the people who are making the money off of you. These talking heads are there for the entertainment. They're not there to be trusted with reliable information. Remember, when it's a dealer 6 and you're sitting on an 8, you take a card. If you're sitting on a 10, you take a card. There's no way you can bust. I've literally seen dummies sit on 8s and say, well, it's the most likely card for the dealer to go over on. Well, yes, but they still have to hit up the 17, so they're going to have at least a 17, and you're sitting on an 11. I think you might want to take a card if the odds are still in your favor of not going over. So this is, again, part of thinking out of the box, part of staying with it. These people control the commentary. They control our thoughts. And they don't do it with force and arms. The propaganda that is pushed and the way that they control racist sports pop culture is done from one single place, the most valuable piece of real estate in the world. And it ain't the secret Illuminati conspiracy headquarters. It ain't the Vatican. It's not the Pentagon. It's not Wall Street. The most valuable piece of real estate is the 6 inches of space between your ears, because that's where they deposit the garbage that they make you believe that keeps you as a puppet on their strings. So controlling what you think, opening your eyes, and trying to look at all the facts without the whine and whisper and yelling in your ears of the pundits who work for the organization, that's going to help you be a better handicapper in the end. And the next comment, we had Peter Son Plankard again. He says he likes the content. He just subbed. And again, I appreciate that, and I appreciate your feedback, especially your funny line. The umbrella's probably yelled in Spanish, "Coming through!" Yes, sir. Yep, there's another one that's awake. Here's another one. Gilbert Gonzalez on the bottom here. It's what you do when your horse dies. It's always been. I play the racehorses for 30 years. No suspicion. What you do is when your horse gets slow, you veer out into another lane and trying to wreck into more horses instead of just slowing down in the lane you're in. Okay. Jarek 859 gives some good feedback here on the organization of bets, talking about never key on a fave and the bottom claimer, especially with the name writer. So he's talking about bet structuring and some general rules and practices. Great feedback. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna learn from you guys. Hopefully I'll be able to share stuff with you guys that you don't know, and you'll be able to share stuff with me. I'm not an expert bettor, but I've obviously done some horse and dog wagering back in the day. Unfortunately, they took the dogs away already, but thankfully we kept our pari-mutuels in the state. Many of them turned into poker rooms, so it's still legal. I'm happy they kept out Caesar Sportsbook so far, because I don't want them to put out a business hour pari-mutuels. I want them to get their cut too, so we keep our existing wagering opportunities available. Another wagering genius here, system Matt McFarlane. Matt McFarlane, nothing wrong. Last line, nothing wrong with that outcome. Sharp win for players. Yeah, we know the sharp winners always win. Inside information, and everybody claims to have it. Very few people show you their tickets, so remember that. More of the same. Then we got another wokester here, Mark Atkinson, 2008 Cigar Mile at Aqueduct. Check that race out. I'll have to give that one a look. I'm assuming there's a similar type of tomfoolery going on with that one. Charnice Lattimore, it was suspicious. Yes. Thanks for commenting. We got some smart cookies. We got it good. I mean, we got a lot of homers and a lot of fanboys, but a lot of normalcy bias folks. But we've also got a lot of people that are awake to what's going on. That's how we're going to build a good community here. So thanks, Charnice Lattimore, for commenting. The Donna T here at the top. Where are you coming from? It's called racing. Yes, jockeys always burn their horse out trying to get to the rail and then surrender the inside shortest trip to the finish line like that. Sure they do. Keep on betting, Donna. We need more race fans like you. All right, Alakazam again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Please subscribe. We're going to do more handicapping. We're going to go more in depth with other types of information that can help us win races in future videos. Subscribe. Maybe we'll get to the point where we can do some live streams. I'm going to go through one more time so you can see old Junior Alvarado at the bottom left on the 4-horse, show you how it's done when you get a tired horse in a race and you're in traffic. You just slow down. You don't weave out and let another guy through for an easy win unless you're getting paid to do it. There we go. There comes the 4-horse about on the bottom left. See him? Oh, he's getting tired. He's got the white with the soccer ball print hat. He's getting smoked here. He's dropping back. The guy behind him has to retreat. No clicking of heels. Guy slows down in his lane, and then the guy pulls out and passes him as soon as it's available. That's what's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to do what our boy Jose Ortiz did in the top and what Vasquez did in the Kentucky Derby and just go ahead and surrender the rail in an obvious situation where they've set up a closing runner to win, and everybody looks at it and goes, that's racing. Yeah, that's racing. They just stole from you. All right, thanks for watching. Come back. We're going to do it all again. Hit the like, subscribe. Thanks for all the wake people out there. Tell your friends. Put a think tank together here. Until next time.